Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
The Rockin' Review is thrilled to have on Grammy Award winner, CMA Award winner, and ACM Award winner with the band Shenandoah. It is Marty Raybon. Marty, thanks for coming on the show.
Eric, it's always a pleasure being with you, bud. I look forward to it.
Well, I'll tell you what, speaking of something to look forward to, I've been listening to this new album, Every Road, and the guests on here, how great the band sounds, how great your vocals are. What an incredible album you put out.
Well, it really has been a labor of love. It really has. Even through all the COVID stuff, a lot of people, look, it's easy to find the other and all of that, but that really actually turned out to be a little bit of a blessing for us. It allowed us to be able to work with people a whole lot better because they were like they were not out doing a bunch of stuff. So it really actually worked in our favor to do it. So,
well, and I'll tell you what, just some of the guests. And obviously, Shenandoah, having, 26 hits, #1 hits, and you guys really kind of led the way in the new traditional country music back in the 90s. But it was so neat to hear artists like Carly Pearce singing with you, Luke Bryan, Brad Paisley. I mean, it's like, Zach Brown. It's like this whole album is like a who's who. And, and truthfully, probably one of my favorite tracks on the album is Every Road.
Yeah, and that was the one that kind of seemed just a little bit different. But here's exactly what we tried to do, and I really do believe that we captured it. When we started getting all the material together and we started talking about doing a duets record, we were not interested at all in doing a record that had, or I certainly was. Of us doing a record that had all the past hits, right? Dozen Roses and Sunday in the South. I felt like, if it had been so long, we've had a record that we could bring to radio. And if we can get some artists to do it, why don't we do stuff to them? And then that way, play. If we do Two Dozen Roses again, they're probably going to play the original. Right. So let's see what we can do about trying to find some new stuff. So when we did, and we were trying to find material that matched who we wanted to be on the record with us. I still call them records. But anyway, so when Every Road was played, with all the stuff that Dierks had done with the McCurry boys and stuff, Up on a Ridge and stuff, I said, man, that is Dierks Bentley. That's got to be Dierks' tune. That's Dierks Bentley. So the next thing you know, we got a tune. Even when I talked to him, he goes, I think I've heard that song before. Been pitched to me. I said, well, there was probably a reason because it sounds like it. And anyway, but he really was. He was a perfect fit for that, as well as some of the other artists that are on here. The only act that we didn't pick a tune for was Lady A, and they brought their own.
Oh, wow.
Which was really neat because, in fact, I'm going to tell you a funny story. I thought it was funny. When it was all over, because everybody knew the laugh was on me. I talked to Charles, and Charles, said, look, man, would you mind if we pitch you a tune? And I said, yeah. So I told our manager, Cole Johnstone, I said, well, we may have lost Lady A. And I said, what? And I said, well, we may have lost them. And so what do you mean by that? And now, let me preface before I go any further. I didn't realize that Charles and Rich, I didn't know that they had been so involved in some of the material that they'd done. I was a big EA fan, but I didn't realize they had wrote a lot of the material that they had. And so therefore, if I'd have known that before what I'm fixing to tell you, it would make me feel better. Anyway, why do you say we're going to lose Lady A? And I said, well, they're going to send us a tune that they wrote. And, man, what if the tune isn't any good and we don't want to do it? And they said, well, they don't want to be a part of it. And so Cole Johnstone, which knew more about all that than I did, he said, man, Marty, they write some of their stuff now. I don't know what I would say that they're out. So let me put it to you this way: when the tune was sent to us, I can guarantee you there was nobody more pleasingly pleased than I was got a chance to hear Every Time I Look at You, because when I did, I said, man, this is a hit. And they go into that chorus. I said, man, they're blowing doors off that thing.
Yeah.
And it'll work. And so anyway, they were the only act that we have on this project that actually had kind of brought their own goods with it.
Well, and I was going to bring it up too, Marty, to where, listening through the whole album, and it's one of those that you're really, there's so many nuances and such a great job by Buddy Cannon producing it also. But, what impressed me was the pairing. Like you said, how you fit the song with you and Shenandoah, and then the artists you brought in, they were all matched so well. It felt like each song that you selected and the artist you brought into it, it was just a match made in heaven. Well,
look, you take the Blake thing, then a girl walks in.
Right.
We already knew that Blake was a big fan. The last 4 or 5 years on The Voice, he's always had one of Team Blake do a Shenandoah tune. Mm-hmm. And I heard him in an interview one time, and he was talking about this new tune that he had, and he kept saying, man, this is one. He said, actually, it sounds like a Shenandoah tune. He said, man, I love what those guys did, because they would always tell a story when they would do a tune, and it always painted a nice picture. Then he said, man, when I heard this is exactly who I thought about, and what I thought about the tune was, it had Shenandoah on it. And so anyway, so the tune he was talking about was I Lived It. Wow. And he even went on to say, I believe if they were to hear it, they probably would have cut it. Mm-hmm. And of course, at that time, we were not cutting. But then after listening, to the interview, and then they played the song shortly after, I got to thinking, that actually does sound like something we probably would have done. Mm-hmm. Therefore, then a girl walks in. That really actually could have been a Blake Shelton tune by himself. Oh. And we're grateful that he did it with us. And then another wonderful thing about Blake that I really appreciate, when all this was going on, and of course all the COVID stuff had been happening and stuff, so therefore everything was kind of scattered out, and things were this and that. And anyway, so things I guess had kind of got behind for him, and anyway, so I texted him and asked him, if he got a chance, could he get the vocal done on this so we could move to get it finished. Well, before it was all over, we'd send an engineer out to Oklahoma. When he came back to Oklahoma, we'd send an engineer out there. Because, people were strange about being in the studio together, and we didn't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable. Find a good spot to be. We'll send somebody to you. Or if you want to do it, and send it, that'd be great too. The engineer can take care of it. So anyway, with that as it is, Blake done this tune. Then a girl walks in 4 times. And all 4 of them from top to bottom were keepers. Now, the reason why I say we did all 4 of them from top to bottom is because what we were asking of people, because we didn't want to tax anybody with all this stuff, Eric. We just, look, man, start up with the second verse, sing the chorus. And if you would sing the bridge and then the last chorus. And that way, we can kind of we mix and mingle the lyrics of taking a line, me taking a line, that way we can just kind of all jumble it up together, so it literally will sound like a duet record. And we did. And then all of a sudden, here comes Blake, and he sends four tracks from top to bottom, and every one of them were keepers. We there one of them, and then of course Scott Hendricks, his engineer and producer, of course over at Warner, said, "Look, man, let me take this. Let me kind of bounce you one down. We'll get one bounce down and that type of stuff. And then from there, we'll get you a tune. You can use any of it. But to be honest with you, we used any of them. That's good. But what it was really showing was literally the interest that Blake had in doing it. Right. And the guy he was to do it, because he wasn't asked to do that, but he certainly went the extra mile. And I tell you, for me, that speaks volumes of somebody to be able to, especially, as busy as he is. Look, we're busy, but we're not near as busy and got as many things going on as he does.
Oh, yeah.
So, well, he was busy.
I want to make sure that our viewers and your fans know, where is the best place for, website, social media, everything, to keep up with the new songs, the new videos coming out. and even the tour coming up, next year, because I'm telling you what, this, you got so many hits on this album, they're going to have to mingle with your previous hits. It's going to be tough choices, Marty. So where should the viewers go?
Man, I appreciate you saying all that, Eric. That's kind of you. If you go to, if you want to buy music, you can go to iTunes or you can go to Apple, all the places where you normally download your music. You can get it there, but also Spotify, it's everywhere. And you can go to the Shenandoah Band. That's ShenandoahBand.com. ShenandoahBand.com. And of course, we're up on all the social places and stuff. Yeah. And they'll turn you on when you go to ShenandoahBand.com. It'll give you the tour. It'll even take you. We've even got a whole brand new line of concessions. We've got every road boutique, so,
including the face mask.
And then a girl walks in. We've got all kind of neat little stuff for as they call swag. Mm-hmm. All that stuff, got brand new ball caps and stuff. And you can certainly, of course, get the new record there every road, and it'll tell you all the touring information that's going to be coming up, and anything rambles is going to be in there. So and it's the thing I'm going to start doing next year about we go and people that we met, little interesting stories that throw up there. Some of them's going to be written, some of them's going to be with just nothing more than a phone. You know how that kind of stuff goes nowadays. You get somebody, and instead of doing the selfie, go, well, so the day it looks like it's raining. Do you think this will happen or not? Just making it interesting and kind of breaking it up a little bit.
Well, I think that's going to be incredible. And I mean, once again, Every Road, brand new album, came out in November 13th, I believe, and the singles coming out since September. More songs releasing from it. I think maybe you should consider putting it on vinyl too. I'm just saying, Marty. We are. It's going on vinyl. And in fact, I left that out. That's another thing that we're going to do. We're going to, at the very, very 1st of December, you were talking about some of the things that we're doing as far as videos and other, that's planned for this. That's one of the things we got planned for. We're going to make literally another announcement about the record being out. So in other words, it's going to be like another release, a reset, whatever. Becoming a very, very popular word. So without getting stuck in the miry clay, we're going to have a reset. And when we do, what we're going to be releasing is literally the vinyl copy of the record. Yeah. And also a CD as well, too. So you can have a CD or a vinyl copy of the record. And we're excited about that. Marty Raybon from Shenandoah, thank you so much for coming on the Rockin' Review. Can't wait to hear more of the singles come out, more videos, and I will be having a copy out on vinyl too. Thanks for coming on the show. Hey, God bless you, Eric, and I thank you so much for letting us come on and peddle our wares today. Thank you. Always a pleasure, buddy. Hey, happy holidays. Happy holidays to you, Marty.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.